Manx Radio's coverage of the Manx Music Festival is brought to you by Spectrum Windows. Find them on Facebook, spectrumwindows.im or spectrumwarmroofs.im.
Let's start this hour with hearing the voice of the Cleveland Medal winner for 2019. Now, there was a new way of qualifying for this, well, slightly different way, shall I say. The special solo voice classes were the qualifying area for Cleveland Medal, but rather than taking one person from each voice type, it was the 3 men and the 3 ladies who had the highest marks who would go through to compete for the Cleveland Medal. So we had and as well as we always have, but we had an excellent final. We had Linda Corkish, Ruth Tickle, at Karen Elliott, and we had Terence Qualtrough, and we had Paul Costain, and they were all singing superbly. But so also was Matthew Quinn. And when it came to the adjudication, again, the John Pomfrey, the adjudicator, said they were all so good. He was full of praise for all 6 finalists. And he said, all of you could have won it. He said there was just one person that had the tingle factor, and that one person was Matthew Quinn. And this is Matthew's whole programme, and the choices were from categories. They were given, each of the solo voice classes were given composers and categories to choose from. They couldn't pick 2 songs from one category, 2 songs from one composer, 2 works. They had to be spread across one from each of the categories, but there were several categories, quite a broad choice. And Matthew chose a beautiful piece by Michael Head, which you'll hear in a moment, and this by Handel to start his programme. This is the voice of the Cleveland Medal winner for 2019. It's his first Cleveland Medal, accompanied by Graham Kirkland, Matthew Quinn.
Io sol alza la fronte, che so che lo caglioso abbattermi non può, no, abbattermi non può. Tal di fortuna all'onte, io sol alza la fronte, che so che lo caglioso abbattermi non può, no, abbattermi. minaccia del vento si ride quecciosa, e 100 volte 100 le scosse ne provò, le scosse ne provò. Del minaccia del vento si ride quecciosa, si ride quecciosa, e 100 volte 100 le scosse ne provò. Che 100 volte 100 le scosse ne provò. Per minaccia del vento si ride quecciosa, che 100 volte 100 le scosse ne provò. Che 100 volte 100 le scosse ne provò. Si ride quecciosa, che 100 volte 100 le scosse ne provò. Che 100 volte 100 le scosse ne provò.
A swallow wets his wing in lavender pond from spring to spring. Never a lily pure and chill holds a cup for the dews to fill. Never a willow gnarled and hoar bends its boughs to a reedy shore. Never a fragrant flower spike blows there. Never a lordly kingstaff grows there. Slender and straight where sedges shiver, and glistening mayflies glance and quiver in lavender pond by London river. But the Baltic barks they come and go, with their old pumped windmills turning slow, and the tall Cape Horners rest and ride like stately swans on a murky tide. And the ocean tramps all red and rusted, worn and weathered and salt encrusted, gather the cluster near and far, derrick and funnel, mast and spar, from many a port of old renown, and lonely wharf where the booms flow down to Lavender Pond by London's town. And keen and strong is the wind that comes to the dingy streets of the Deptford slums, strong and keen with the scent it steals of piled up acres of calmateers. And the gulls go flying, the gulls go crying, and the winds sob and the water sighing. Croon to the ships an old sea ditty in Lavender Pond by London City. Never a swallow wets its wing in Lavender Pond from
From spring to spring, never a lily pure and chill holds a cup for the dews to fill. In lavender pond by London river.
The winner of this year's Cleveland Medal, accompanied there by Graham Kirkland, that was Matthew Quinn, with an incredibly complicated piece by Handel to start with, and the song that actually became the talk of the Villa Marina this week. Everybody fell in love with Matthew's choice of Lavender Pond by Michael Head, and everyone was saying, didn't you love that? Didn't you love that second song? Not that we didn't appreciate the complexity of the Handel, and I'm not suggesting that for one moment, but everybody just fell in love with that Michael Head song, and it just seemed to suit Matthew so well. His accompanist, Graham Kirkland, and there he is, the winner of the 2019 Cleveland Medal. I caught up with Matthew, and actually I was lucky enough just to be able to have a little chat with him before he was mobbed by friends and family. He got out of the Royal Hall first, and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Congratulations on being the winner of the 2019 Cleveland Medal. First medal for you, Matthew?
It is a bit of a shock, actually.
Well, Matthew, you're a bit of a dark horse, because I've been listening to you this week. You've been singing so well, but you haven't really had a big presence in the Guild before, have you?
No, it's only the last couple of years. The last time I was here was when I was a child, really, up to about the age of 11.
Really?
And then, it was only the last 3 years.
Was there a particular reason why you thought, I'm just going to go back and take this seriously?
It's mainly because of my daughter. My daughter started singing lessons, and when I was taking her, I thought I may as well try it myself. So John Elliott teaches me, and we've just, ever the last 3 years, really, along with my daughter.
How did you feel out there on stage?
Well, I just enjoyed it. I just thought tonight I'm just going to go out there and enjoy myself. For a start, there's 5 other amazing singers out there tonight, and it could have been anybody, so I just thought I'm just going to go out and enjoy it.
Now, the adjudicator, John Pomfrey, said a lovely thing. He said there was one man who had the tingle factor that gave him that special feeling that you get when you hear something beautiful. How did you feel when he said that?
Well, it's amazing for anybody to say that. I mean, an adjudicator or anybody in the audience coming up to you afterwards and saying you gave them that feeling. It's just, it's as a singer, there's nothing better. I mean, that's why we do it. We do it for our own enjoyment, but also for other people. And if you can, yeah.
Well, Matthew, I can tell you it does give us all a huge amount of enjoyment, and I hope that we will see you out and about. Of course, once you are possessor of Cleveland Medal, you are invited to concerts and all kinds of... It opens up lots of doors, not that you wouldn't have thought of, but you will be invited to lots of things. Are you looking forward to the things that it will offer you?
Well, I can't wait. Yeah.
I can tell you, I have got Matthew's mobile phone number. I shall be inviting him to take part in a concert in the summer, I can promise you. Lovely man. And Daisy, his daughter, has had a very good guild, accomplished in spoken word as well as in music. So lots of talent in that family. And of course, Matthew's father, John, a fine singer as well, who has featured in the guild in years gone by. So definitely the genes are all moving very, very well through that Quinn family. Congratulations to Matthew. Let's hear from some other of the contenders for the Cleveland Medal, because as Matthew said and as the adjudicator said, everybody was singing to such a high standard. Let's listen now to Linda Corkish, and Linda was the winner of the special Mezzo Soprano solo class, and again got one of the higher marks, and so that qualified her for the Cleveland Medal test. And she picked a piece by Fauré and another piece by Michael Head, and that's the one we're going to listen to now. The piece is A Green Cornfield. This is Linda Corkish, and her accompanist is Patricia Cullen.
Sunny
Linda Corkish, accompanied by Patricia Cullen, and A Green Cornfield by Michael Head. And with that, Linda won her place in the Cleveland Medal final. Stay with me as we bring you even more from this year's Manx Music Festival.
Manx Radio's coverage of the Manx Music Festival is brought to you by Spectrum Windows. Find them on Facebook, spectrumwindows.im or spectrumwarmroofs.im.
Actually, there were two bass singers who went through. There was Terence Qualtrough and Paul Costain. They each got high marks in that group. And again, groups to choose their songs from. The groups, incidentally, were any song by Bach or Handel, any song by Fauré, Debussy or Chausson, or any song by Dring, Head or Vaughan-Williams. Now, those categories were the same for all the voice types, same for the ladies' voice types and for the men. The only rule was that they had to choose a song from a different category. They couldn't have two songs from the same category. So, we're going to hear Paul's choice. Now, he chose a Vaughan-Williams song, another one that I think suits him beautifully, Hugh's Song of the Road. He also chose I Feel the Deity Within, the aria Arm Ye Brave, both of those by Handel from Judas Maccabeus. But we're going to listen now to Paul Costain, accompanied by Gareth Moore, and Hugh's Song of the Road.
Horse hoofs thunder down the valleys, foaming manes and tossing tails, strength and speed and fire. Thudding, scampering, checks and sudden sallies, hear them up the mountain, high, still and high. Till we meet the wind, race wind and down the hollows, drive the wind before us, leave it streaming out behind us. Again the panting wind that follows, not the wind of heaven itself, we dare to catch and that bind us. Horses coming, passing by, do they call you in the noonday when the blood runs high? Campfires, now the west is glowing, send their ruddy smoke out to greet the brightening moon. Not a roof to shield your head from free winds blowing, not a wall to deaden the water's lulling tune. Cooking round the campfire's busy sounds and cheery, meat and drink for belly, and the clinging turf for side. Oh, to stretch your length when your back and bones are weary. Dewy sleep on closing eyes from heaven's open wide. Campfires, ruddy in the gloom. Do they call
stretch out empty arms and fold a wandering air. All the scented night breathes of beauty and of loving heartbeats, and so with a broken cry, call for a bride with courage to go roving, to dare the world full of beneath the open sky. Heartbeat, throbbing for the bride. Do they call you in the midnight to a strong man's side?
Terrific singing there from Paul Costain and Hugh's Song of the Road. But what about that piano playing from Gareth? The low rumbling sound that he got from the piano was fabulous, wasn't it?
Manx Radio's coverage of the Manx Music Festival is brought to you by Spectrum Windows. Find them on Facebook, spectrumwindows.im or spectrumwarmroofs.im.
Right, well, we're back to our review of the Cleveland Medal Test, and two sopranos went through to compete for the medal, Karen Elliott and Ruth Tickle. We're going to hear from Ruth Tickle first, and she's accompanied by Jill Collings. And Ruth's choice was a very, very well-known piece that she delivered beautifully. I Know That My Redeemer Liveth by Handel from The Messiah, and this by Dring, My True Love Hath My Heart. This is Ruth Tickle.
My true love hath my heart, and I have his. By just exchange, one to the other given. My heart is dear, and mine he cannot miss. Never was a better bargain driven. My true love hath my heart, and I have his. His heart in me keeps him and me in one.
That's Ruth Tickle, accompanied by Jill Collings, and that was how she qualified for her place in the Cleveland Medal final. It's an experience that Ruth is not unfamiliar with, because Ruth has on 2 occasions won the Cleveland Medal, in 2017 and in 2006, and still singing magnificently. There's a few people that I would just like to say a huge thank you to. First of all, my wonderful engineer and tower of strength, and that's Timothy Price, a very gifted musician himself, but when it comes to doing these recordings, I wouldn't have a single note to broadcast for you if it wasn't for Timothy. He works very, very hard, processing all the audio and making the very best sound that he can, and bearing in mind that if we were going to record soloists, choirs, whatever, if I was just going to go and record them, we would set up in a very particular way. You know, you place the microphones exactly where you would need them. Now, of course, we can't do that. We have to do the recording that we do very, very unobtrusively, and certainly not putting the microphones where they would be ideally placed, shall we say. You know, you have to be very discreet about what we do so that we can bring you all these performances, and Tim does a fabulous job. So a big, big thank you to Timothy Price, who won't be listening now. He'll be having a well-earned rest. He has worked some very, very long days and very long nights. I have to say, Tim, we wouldn't be having this programme without you. And somebody else who's been a tower of strength to both Tim and myself is Ant Palfreyman down there at the Villa Marina. He too has been working some very long days and long nights as well, but been a tower of strength to us on the technical side, and we really do appreciate that. And in between, when we had a quiet moment, we did important things like discuss cookery. You know, how many of your 5 a day does a pot noodle cover? We decided pretty much all of them. And thank you very much indeed for the fun, the jokes, and most of all for the technical support. Really excellent. Terence Qualtrough, he is one of the 2 basses that went through, and he chose Revenge Prometheus Cries from Alexander's Feast by Handel, and this by Michael Head, A Dog's Life. This is Terence Qualtrough, and Gareth Moore is his accompanist.
And that's the truth, says Bill. A sailor's life's a dog's life. Look at it how you will. You break your back with working, for off a coolie's pay. And a sailor's life's a dog's life. Look at it how you may. Mates to kick and daze you, and it doesn't hit 'em back. There's coal to freeze your innards, and there's eaters burns you black. There's junk as tough as green art, and weevils in the bread, and fist in frozen canvas, till you're wishing you were dead. I'm going to quit it next time I jump ashore. As soon as I strike old Frisco, you won't see me no more. I'll set a course westward to an island as I know, where we laid once loading copra. Might be 20 years ago. I'll lay out on the beach there where the sun is good and old, and I won't need no more trousers when I've wore out them I've got, with a gunny round my middle and a soul to call my own. I wouldn't change my fortune for the king's upon his throne. it boat alongside, and the mattock of the ground, and the towboat cast the hawser off, and left us with a cheer. Why, there'd be Bill a-growling, as he'd done for many a year. Oh, a sailor's life's a dog's life, and that's a fact, my son. His pay's no more than coolies, his work is never done. But you bet I'm going to quit it first chance as comes my way, for a sailor's life's a dog's life. Look at it how you may.
And isn't it great to hear Terry in such superb voice? It's no secret that Terry has been very, very ill over the last 18 months, 2 years or so. But isn't it just wonderful to hear him in fantastic voice?
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
And on Sundown this week, we are bringing you all the winning performances and highlights from the last couple of days of the 2019 Manx Music Festival.
Manx Radio's coverage of the Manx Music Festival is brought to you by Spectrum Windows. Find them on Facebook, spectrumwindows.im or spectrumwarmroofs.im.
Getting a Cleveland medal is not a brand new experience for Karen Elliott, although she has said to me that each one is very, very special. It doesn't become any less special. The fact that she has, in fact, 6 Cleveland medals to her credit just shows the extraordinary quality of Karen Elliott's voice. She was competing again, and she was one of the 2 soprano soloists who went through. You've just heard from Ruth Tickle, and Karen Elliott also went through. Her choice was So Shall the Lute and Harp Awake by Handel, and by Debussy, Beau Soir. And Karen is accompanied by Jill Collings.
Beau Soir, beautiful evening. When the setting sun turns the rivers a rosy red, and a mild tremor goes through the cornfield, an exhortation to be happy seems to emanate from all things and rises towards the troubled heart. An exhortation to enjoy the charms of life whilst one is young and the evening beautiful. For we all must go on, just like this stream, she to the sea and we to our graves.
Of
Karen Elliott, accompanied by Jill Collings, and Beau Soir by Debussy. And they were all the contenders for the Cleveland Medal, and it was swept away by Matthew Quinn, who, in the opinion of the judicator, had the tingle factor. Congratulations to Matthew and to everybody who qualified for the competition of such a very, very high standard. So much lovely music to listen to. Some choir music, that's what we're going to be featuring lots of in the next hour of the programme. Lots of choirs and some comedy too. Scoill in Jubilee, they won the mixed choirs for 8 to 11-year-olds, and this is part of that winning performance, Land of the Silver Birch, Scoill in Jubilee Junior Choir.
Land of the silver birch, home of the beaver, where still the mighty moves, wonders and will. Blue lake and rocky shore, I will return once more. Higher, 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 higher. Land of the silver birch, silver birch, silver birch, the breeze of the birds, hills and mountains, wonders and will. Lake and rocky shore, I will return once more. Higher, 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 My paddles keen and bright, flashing with silver, follow the wild goose flight, dip, dip and swing. My paddles keen and bright, flashing with silver, follow the wild goose flight, dip, dip and swing, dip, dip and swing. Land of the silver birch, flashing the silver, where still the mighty flight, wonders and swell. Blue lake and rocky shore, I will with sails on, higher the waters, higher, higher and swell, dip, dip and swell. Land of the silver birch, flashing with silver, where still the mighty flight, wonders and swell. Blue lake and rocky shore, I will with sails on, higher the waters, higher, dip, dip and swell, dip, dip and swell.
A winning performance there from Scoill in Jubilee, the junior choir there, winning their mixed choir class. And there will be lots more music, and not only music, a little bit of spoken word, a little bit of comedy. Stay with me for the next hour of our coverage of the Guild.